Now let's add some detail on that front channel on the body. So we can use duplicate special again to add some repeating detail up here. The first thing that we want to do though is add one of those pieces. So I'll just create a cube and let's bring it up and into position up here at the top. Okay, and let's increase our width so it fits inside of this channel. Let's increase our height, something like that. And then we'll also increase the depth. And let's give ourselves some subdivisions here. And let's do 4 in the width. Now you can create whatever kind of detail you want. I'm just going to take this middle portion, pull it down, and then out. And then I'm going to just take the whole thing and kind of rotate it in the X. So something like that. Now I want to create some hard visual lines here. And so one of the ways we can do that is just to play with the normals. And that's kind of how Maya calculates the softness across the surface. You can see, even though we have some sharp angles here, it's trying to soften that visually. And so we want it to be nice and hard. So we're going to go to normals under the polygon menu set, say harden edges. And that's going to create a much harder look for that piece. All right, and once we have one of these pieces, let's freeze our transformations. Let's duplicate one, Control D. I'm just going to move one down. So let's see what happens if I just move it down by 6. So just as an experiment, if I move it down in the Y by 6, it gets us very close to what we want. So let's select that object. We're going to go to Duplicate Special under Edit. And this time we'll create copies instead of instances. And we'll take out the value in the rotation of the Y, but we'll put a value in the rotation of the translation of the Y. So let's set that to -6. And I don't really know how many it's going to put in or how many it's going to take to fill that up. And so I'm just going to put in maybe 12. And you can see that that's too many, so I can delete the last couple. You can also see that it is very straight. And so one of the ways we can deal with this is to just come in, and I'm just going to select all of these, and I want to combine them into one object. So I'm going to use Mesh, Combine, and then I'll delete the history. Now I want to bend it to follow along with that curvature. And so let's go again. We looked at adding a lattice. This time we'll add a bend deformer. So Animation, Create Deformers, Nonlinear, Bend. Now if we go into the bend input and modify the curvature, you can see right now it's bending sideways. So I actually want to rotate it. I want to rotate it back 90 degrees. So now when we bend it, it gives us a nice bend like that. Now I don't want the geometry at the top to bend, and so I'm going to take this high bound down to 0. Now I can create a bend like that, and we can go to the side view to kind of see how that bend is working. It's bending it a lot right down here, so what I can do is I can change the position of that bend and then take the curvature back down if it's a little bit more of a gradual bend, and so we can get something like that. Now once you're happy with that, you can select the object. Deleting the history will delete that bend deformer, and now we've got a little bit more detail here on the front. All right, so the next thing that we'll do once we've got that done is to add a little bit of detail here to the underside. So we just want to kind of fill in the gaps underneath here, underneath our shell. All right, so we need some kind of hip sockets and a ball joint right in the middle. And so we'll start to create that in the next lesson.